Hello friends, let's go thrifting. We're going thrifting on $2 day. We're going to the Goodwill outlet, and then stick around to the end. I will show you some of the items I picked up. So we are thrifting for all the ways that I resell. If you are new here, I've been a part-time reseller for over 10 years. We're currently in my storage unit. I am going to take my Hulk in with me, not sponsored. I love this bag. It has wheels on it. I've had it for years, and we're going to go thrifting. I list items to sell on Poshmark, eBay. I send things out on consignment to ThredUp and The Real. I sell to thrift stores. I sell to consignment stores. I resell most of the ways that you can resell. I don't even want to say. I was going to say I occasionally sell things in person, but I don't even want to talk about that. If you've seen my last video, then you know. Let's go thrifting. Stick around to the end, and we'll do a thrift haul.
Alrighty, friends, welcome to Los Angeles, California. This is the closest Goodwill to Beverly Hills. I just like to mention that because people not from here always find that interesting. This is about 2 miles from Beverly Hills. We used to have a thrift store in Beverly Hills. It was a tiny one, but that one is no more. So I love this location. For any of you locals, you know where it is. It is huge. They participate in $2 day. So I mentioned this, or I'm going to mention this when we do the haul portion, but the way it works here in Los Angeles, you see that sign that says purple, $2.79. So Sunday through Wednesday, the color of the week, this week it is purple, is 50% off. And then Thursday, it goes to $2.79. Then Friday, it goes to $2.50. I said cent earlier, cents. And then Saturday is the last day for that color. It's $2. So a lot of people will come on Thursday because it's the first major price drop from like 50% off to $2.79, which is pretty big. And then the last day to participate in the sale. Why do people do that? There was no one in this aisle. She literally came right next to me. I'm sorry, it's one of my pet peeves. Some people don't care. Like, I talked to some of my reselling friends. They're like, whatever, I'm used to it. We live in a major city with 4 million people. But I specifically go in the aisles because I'm an only child and I don't want you in my personal bubble with no one in it. And people will literally come right next to me like we are besties. Please step away. I feel like we've lost all sense of personal space these days. Anywho, pet peeve, rant over. So Thursdays is the first day to get the major sale. And then Saturday, there's still great stuff left on Saturday, but you get the best stuff if you come on Thursdays. And man, oh man, friends, did I score some amazing brands. I didn't get a ton of stuff, but the stuff I did find, Viore, Nikki, or is it Nikki? I think it's Nikki. A ton of very trendy, high sell-through rate items. I was very excited. First up, I found this Viore. Well, first up, I found this vintage suit. I almost picked it up. But if you saw my brands I'm not picking up in 2026 video, you know, even though things are super affordable, I'm trying to stay away from stuff that I know will sit. Like vintage suits like this sit for me for like 3 years, and then I'll get a full price sale of like $90. It's wild how vintage works. I admire vintage sellers so much because a lot of that stuff can just sit forever waiting for the right buyer. And then out in the wild, I just find Viore. This is why I always say I understand that I am very lucky that where I live, I can just find these things every time I go thrifting. I'm not finding Viore every time, but I'm finding high sell-through rate brands every single time. So I was like, I know this. I've seen this jacket. I think I've sold this jacket. I see the logo. I was like, this is Viore. It was not on sale. I did end up paying full price for that. I think it was $8.99, which I am surprised they did not know that was Viore. Usually they mark Viore up. You better believe I picked that up. That is already listed in my Poshmark closet. I found some sold comps for that pre-owned at $90. So that's listed if you want to check it out. I think I priced it at like $77. So I was super excited to find that. That was the only item I paid full price for this day. Everything else I paid $279 for. So I started out in the sweaters and jackets. There was not a ton of sweaters and jackets on sale. I did get here 30 minutes after they opened, and I did see one girl that literally had like 20 coats and jackets in her cart. So I'm thinking maybe she cleared out all the sale items. That's why I say, I don't know. I just miss the days when it was just one day was $2. That's how they did it for years. It used to be one day of the week. It was like every Thursday was $1, and then it went up to $2 like 3 years ago. And then just recently, like a year ago, they started this tiered pricing. So I feel like a lot of the stuff sells even before Thursday because people that are just buying for themselves are like, oh, it's 50% off, I just miss the days. I long for the days when it used to be just one day, everything was on sale. I did pick up that new with tags fleece jacket. It's like a premium boutique brand. I also talked about not picking that stuff up in 2026. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it down below. By the way, I'm filming with my Ray-Ban Meta glasses, my favorite technology purchase of 2025. I will link these down below. So that's why the footage is vertical. I did pick up this Zara jacket. This came out 2 years ago, and I have already sold this to my local consignment store, and they paid me out $12 for that. As I mentioned in the brands I am not picking up in 2026, I'm really staying away from Zara unless it's new with the tags, more recent piece. Otherwise, I'm not picking it up. I was going to pick this up, but this is one of those items that's like those boutique brands that I've never heard of. And the sell-through rate, I couldn't even find any sold comps, so I put that back, even though it was only, I'm not going to say $279 because it just doesn't flow. I'm just going to say $3 day because that's basically what it is. It's $3. So I decided to put that back. Anything right now that I can't find sold comps on, I am passing on because that just means it could be sitting for a long time. This one was $3. Again, I don't think I checked comps on this, so if I passed up something that I should have picked up, of course, let me know in the comments down below. Always check pockets on everything, friends. I recently found $100 in a jacket I had listed, and I was just about to put in my inventory, and I was like, wait a minute. I did not check the pockets on this bad boy. $100 bill just right in there, so always check pockets, friends. So I started in the coats and the jackets, didn't find a ton other than the Viore, which was a total score. And I then moved on to jeans, dresses. I was here for quite a while, probably about 2 hours, and I ended up leaving with 28 items, which I think is really good, but 28 very high sell-through rate items. There's some Shein, definitely not picking that up. When I'm filming with these glasses, it looks like everything is like up close because, I have glasses on. So the frame for me is close, but then I forget when I'm actually looking at the footage, the tags are actually far away for you all. So I need to make sure to put it close. The camera is actually right in the middle of the eyeglass frame. So I need to remember to hold it up. This, I'm sorry to say, it reminded me of a pimp suit. Like if a pimp was going to a summer picnic, this is what the pimp would wear. I was checking it out because I'm like, is this a special brand? I don't know. This can't be just a legitimate pimp suit. But I couldn't find branding anywhere. It was so bright, friends, and so big. The camera's not doing it justice. I'm fairly certain that's not women's. I don't know why it was in the women's section, but it made me chuckle because I was like, I don't know who else would want to wear a very bright, flammable orange suit like this, a short set suit. That just made me laugh. I wasn't finding much in the jackets and coats, so I moved on to dresses, and this is the Nikki I think it's Nikki. That's how I hear everyone pronounce it. This is an Australian designer brand. Their dresses can retail upwards of $200. It's very rare I find it in the wild. It did need some stain treating. I actually had that dry cleaned. My dry cleaner, I take him so much volume. He charges me like $6 for a dress, which for Los Angeles, for dry cleaning, if you live here, you know, that's a good deal. Dry cleaning here is very expensive. When I first moved here, how long have I lived here? 14 years? 15 years. 15. When I first moved here 15 years ago, dry cleaning was so like I could get a dress dry cleaned for $4. Now everywhere starts you at 10, sometimes 12. $12. I feel like I'm sounding like, anyways, yeah. So he gives me a good deal. So now it looks amazing. It is listed. So I'm really excited. I think I've only found that brand like twice. So it's nice to find a little black dress for $3. I'll take it. I went through the entire dress section, the entire jeans and pants section. Free People jeans. They wanted, is that $9.99? Okay, Nikki, you've got to hold the tags closer to the camera. I always say that. But then when I'm, like I said, when I have them on, I'm like, oh, it looks really close. I'm sorry, friends. I will get better. I have had these glasses for about 6 months, but I'm going to be honest, I don't film with them all the time because I feel bad for you all that it's vertical and it's not horizontal. And I don't want my entire Come Thrift With Me videos to be this way. This is perfect for social media. Like, this has been great for my Instagram, my TikToks, YouTube shorts, but with like YouTube full-length videos, I try to use my phone, but it's just so easy because I'm hands-free and I refuse to strap a GoPro to myself. I used to do that for you guys when I was filming my Amazon videos, but I didn't like it because I really try not to film people, and when you have on that big chest mount, people stare at you like, what is that? And I just feel like it brings a lot of unnecessary attention. Anywho, lots of Forever 21 dresses on sale, Kohl's, a lot of Shein, fast fashion stuff that I am just staying away from. But I keep twisting and turning so I don't get people on camera. But huge dress section. I love this location. I don't get to come here often, but when I do, I spend hours here just looking through as much as I can. I did find this Vintage Express dress. I used to pick up Vintage Express all the time, but like I said, it's a vintage romper. Vintage items sit so long for me, and then like 2 years later out of nowhere I get a full price sale. I actually ended up picking this up for myself. I wore it to work and I just belted it. I got so many compliments. I didn't think this would fit me because it's a small and I'm very much a medium, even sometimes because of my thighs, depending on the time of the month, a large, but it's a vintage small. So it fit me and I got so many compliments. It was actually a little big around the stomach. So like I said, I belted it and I wore it with some very high heels and a nice little black jacket, and I got a lot of compliments. So I was like, okay. But as far as reselling it, I pass on it to resell because I've just, like I said, I'm trying to move away from the things that sit. Although my local women's shelter that I donate to, they love getting workwear. So if I can find the workwear, but they prefer, these ladies are actually wearing it to work. So do they want like a pink vintage suit like the one I found earlier? No, they want some things that are more current and trendy as they re-enter the workforce. So if I can find like vintage stuff that's in good condition that is trendy again currently, I will pick it up just for the reason to take it to the local women's shelter because I love that they do that. They have job fairs. The one I donate to is called Ruth's House, and they take in children and women. I always get this question, like, Nikki, where do you donate? It's called Ruth's House. I also donate a lot to the LA, what is it called? It's the biggest shelter downtown. I think it's the LA Mission, but it's not just women's. It's men, women, children, and they always need underwear, socks, t-shirts, like the basics. So I give them a lot of that stuff that I find. And you can find all this stuff online, friends. They have like drop-off days, how you can reach out, how to donate, but the ones that have, you know, everyone, men, women, children, they always need socks. That's the number one thing that they need. Well, at least that's what they told me recently. So just an FYI, if you're out in the wild or you have anything in bulk that you care to share with those in need. Okay, so I picked up Express. I found Nikki. I found Viore. I found some Lululemon pieces for $3 that I will show you probably in the next haul video coming up, because this video is getting very long. We're also going to go back to storage and do a haul, friends. So stick around. We are not done. Next, I found this L Space dress. L Space, very trendy brand, sold at Revolve, a couple high-end retailers. This has my name written all over it. This is the type of dress I would wear on a vacation. Throw a little like long sheer cover up. That floral dress that you just saw in my cart, it's a House of Harlow, size large. I was going to list it and I found a big hole. So I need to be better about checking things for flaws. It was only $3, but still. So my mom's going to sew that up for me. She's my little at-home seamstress when I need her. I don't pick up House of Harlow often. Check sell-through rate on that. You can often find it at TJ Maxx and Marshall's, but it's a size large and I do pretty well selling it on live sales. And if it doesn't sell there, I will sell it to my local thrift stores. If you're wondering, Nikki, what are you talking about? You sell to thrift stores? Yes, there's one thrift store and one high-end consignment store that I sell direct to the owners. I do have a video talking about how I set that up. I will link it down below. NBD stands for No Big Deal, sold at Revolve. This is a collab they did with the Maven twins, something twins. They must be bloggers or something, beauty or fashion bloggers. But anyways, I found sold comps on this little cute little mini dress for $40, $30, and $50. So I definitely picked this up at $3. So this is what I mean when I say this was a great day to find higher sell-through rate items that retail for a ton. I found that L Space dress. I found this diesel sweater that retailed for over $200. I think this is men's. I have to look more into it because all the stock images I found were men, but honestly, this could be unisex. It is the softest, coziest sweatshirt. I picked that. You better believe I picked that up. So what are we at? We're at Viore, Nikki, L Space, Vintage Express, House of Harlow. Found a couple pieces of Lululemon, a couple pieces of Free People that you guys will see in upcoming hauls. It was a great day. So every day I'm not picking up like 70 or 100 items, but you know what? I'm finding Ted Baker for $3. Praise the thrift gods. Thank you so much. This bad boy has a ton of stains. I had to stain treat this thing for a week.
So almost everything, everything I'm going to show you, I either paid $3 or less for. First up, a good old bread and butter is Banana Republic. This is a size medium. I would call this a jacket. I guess it's a sweater jacket. It is very heavy. It's thick. A lot of the stuff I'm showing you should be listed by the time I edit this video. So if you want to check out my Poshmark closet, I feel like this is unisex. Stuff like this, I will list as unisex, but I think technically it's men's, but I own sweaters like that. I really love Banana Republic, J. Crew. They're just good bread and butter brands for me. I used to call them like affordable mall brands. They're really not affordable anymore. That sweater, if it were sold in the store today, would sell for over $100. So they're like expensive. They're not like, they are a bit pricey. I call them like mid-range mall brands. So I could probably get like 30 to 40 for it. I sell the men's items for a little bit more for the older pieces, but what I was going to say is I try to stick to a lot of Banana Republic retail store and not their outlet store, but some of their outlet stuff, especially if it's newer styles, can sell for really well too. And the way you can tell the difference is the 3 dots under Banana Republic. I cannot believe I found this new with the tags. This is a Ralph Lauren jacket. This is a size 48 regular. It's the classic fit. I believe this was part of a suit set, but I could not find the pants. And I promise you, I searched and I searched and I could not find the matching set. Remember, everything I got was $3 or less. So here in Los Angeles, the way $2 day works is, I wish they didn't do it this way. It's basically a tiered sale throughout the week. So one color of the week goes on sale. So from Sunday, I think I'm remembering the days right. From Sunday to Wednesday, let's say it's purple. So everything with a purple color tag from Sunday to Wednesday is 50% off. Then Thursday, it goes to $2.79. And then on Friday, it's $2.50. And then the last day for purple to sale. I always sound so Southern. There's nothing wrong with a Southern accent. It's just that one specific word that I say, sell, but it always comes out as sale. Maybe, I don't know, maybe because I was born and raised in the Washington, D.C. area, which growing up there, most of us, I can speak for most of us that live there, we don't consider that the South. I was born in D.C., Washington, D.C., but I lived most of my life in the suburbs of Maryland. I lived like 1 year in Northern Virginia. That whole area is very small. So we call it the DMV, which stands for District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia. Northern Virginia. It's a very small area, but we don't consider that the South. I think people maybe that live in Virginia, like Southern Virginia, but a lot of people are like, no, since you're below the Mason-Dixon line, that's considered the South. I don't know. You let me know your thoughts down below. There's nothing wrong with the South. Anytime I bring this up, my Southern friends get offended. Please don't. My dad, my grandparents, and like 80% of my family lives in the South. You all know. My oldies but my goldies know. I call Dallas my second home. I go there. This year in 2025, I have been to Dallas 5 times. My dad, my grandparents, they live in Oklahoma. But it's so close to Dallas. It's like 2-hour drive. So, and I have a ton of family in Dallas. I love the South. I just think it's funny that my accent, it's only when I say the word sell. It's like sale. What? I don't know. Maybe it's because I grew up below the Mason-Dixon line. It just makes me laugh. Okay, this one, tangent over. Blank NYC, size small. I got this for $2 at the Goodwill outlet. Someone threw this back, and I don't know why. I will probably borrow this from my inventory because I love a long flannel jacket. I pair this with like knee-high boots, cute little skirt. I wear it to work. I wear it for date night. Perfect fall and winter item. You can't see, but it's very long. I'm 5'6" and it's going past my knees. This one retailed for over $100. So yeah. Next up, this makes me laugh because, oh gosh, I always have to randomly check that my mic is on because I was just saying the other day, I am not picking up Zara. I should have said the caveat, I'm not picking up Zara if it's not a coat, a recent piece, and it's in amazing condition. This is a Zara coat that retailed for close to $200. It has this amazing shirling on the inside. It is so soft. I'm not going to get used to this mic, you guys. It's a size small. I am a true medium and I have a larger bust and I am really trying hard to not keep this. I am addicted to keeping coats and it's ridiculous. I live in Southern California. It does get cold here. It doesn't get cold till like the new year. Like January and February are usually our coldest months. But I love this coat and I only paid $2 for it. So I do pick up Zara coats. I told you all in that video, if you haven't seen the video where we did brands I'm not buying in 2026, I will link it down below. Also, I forgot to mention in that video, shameless plug, I created a free ebook on 100 brand bolo guide. I created it in 2024. It's a thank you I give out to everyone for signing up for my email list. I don't bug you all. I only email you once a week. And it's a lot of people are like, so what is your newsletter about? Like, what do you email about? It's very similar to these videos. I just email you like what's happening in the reselling world, any tips I have for the week. And then, yeah, that's really it. I email you once a week. So a thank you for signing up for my email list. I give you that free ebook and it's electronic. So you can like save it to your phone while you're out sourcing. I'll leave a link to it down below. Everything is free. I'm not selling you anything. But in that video where I talked about brands I'm not buying, I talked about Zara. And I should have mentioned, I did mention when I talked about Forever 21, I love their coats, especially the older style coats. They're just such good quality, and they do have a following. Like, people like me know that if you can get a Zara coat circa 10, 15 years ago, it doesn't even have to be that long, maybe like 8 years ago, it will last you a very long time. I have a Zara coat that I've had for 16 years, and I didn't even buy it new. All of my Zara coats, I have like 5 Zara coats. I've thrifted all of them. So, and I try to really just stick to the older quality coats because they're just older styles because they're just better quality. Size 34 Paige jeans. A lot of my reselling friends do not pick up Paige. I most always pick it up if it's in good condition, because if I don't sell it myself, I can sell it on ThredUp and make some bucks. Not a ton. Like, I usually get a payout of like 15 bucks, but 2 into 15. Sometimes I get like 20, 25 bucks because I'm not photographing, I'm not listing, I'm not doing the customer service, and I very rarely find it in good condition on the gusset. I don't know what's up with people that buy Paige, but they tear their jeans up usually. And I very rarely find it in a size over 30. It's always like really smaller sizes, so I get really excited when I find them in good condition, the gusset's in good condition, and a larger size, because Paige is not affordable. Brand new, it can go upwards of $200, but you can find it for a deal. I've seen them at Nordstrom Rack new for like 50 to 70, but still pretty pricey for jeans. This is something I'm actually sending to ThredUp. BCBG Max Azria. This is a size 4. I get confused because for me on the camera, it's inverted. It's flipped. So this, I couldn't find the straps. I got this from the Goodwill outlet. It has attachments for straps. I couldn't find them. This is an older style dress. I really only pick up BCBG Max Azria. If it's a newer style, I'll list it myself. If not, I send it to ThredUp, or I sell to my consignment stores or thrift stores. I was going to keep showing you all stuff, but I think this video is getting very long and it's getting dark here. I know you can't tell because I'm using a ton of portable lights. By the way, if you are ever looking for like any of the supplies that I use, like the mic, the lights, a lot of it is very affordable. The only thing that's very expensive is my huge Canon camera, but I always link that stuff down below. So if you're looking for some like affordable lights, most of it's from Amazon or TikTok Shop. I need to stay off of TikTok Shop. By the way, I have been posting on my Instagram and my TikTok daily. Those are also linked down below, and I am posting what sold. So if you're interested in what's selling for me every day, it's a series I've been doing. I'm currently up to day 30. I did skip a couple days, but I'm back to it. I'm up to day 30, and I share one sale every single day. So those are down below. I know all of you don't have TikTok, but most of you have Instagram.